welcome to another edition of Be Well Together. We are on the road in our kitchens, and even better, it's spring break. So not only are we tackling a cooking show, but we're going into the advanced lane and doing it with my sous chefs, Rex and with Eva. And of course, we're all gathered here today because we have our very special guest, Chef Bill Corbett. Woo!
Hi, how you doing? You say hi, and I've got Charlie here. He's gonna be my sous chef. He joined at the last minute last time. Oh, you're gonna be the regular chef? Okay, Charlie's gonna be the regular chef, not the sous chef. Well, wait, what are we gonna make?
Energy bites.
So we're gonna make some energy bites. A lot of protein.
Now we need almond butter.
Yeah. You want to go through the ingredients?
Almond butter.
Okay.
Oats and cinnamon and what's that?
Salt.
Cinnamon and salt and what these?
Chia seeds.
Chia seeds.
Hemp seeds.
And hemp seeds.
And then what's this over here?
And maple syrup. That's all the ingredients you need.
All the ingredients. Okay. I think, now I have my salt because I didn't have that. But
yeah.
Charlie, if I have something like flaxseed, can I use that instead?
Yes, flaxseed can sub out for the kind of specialty stuff, the chia and the hemp seeds.
Great.
You can also, if you don't have anything like that, you can also just add more oats to make up the difference.
Okay.
Replace with more oats if you need to. This just allows us to get more protein and more kind of a variety.
Water. I need.
You need some water? Okay, here's your water. You can stay. Okay. So these are super simple, no bake. Again, if you need to sub anything out, it's super easy. You can add whatever spices you want or change out the syrup. Charlie, we're doing this together here, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna have to start putting it together soon.
We need a fruit pie. You need a fruit pie.
Yeah. So if you want to sub out the syrup too, again, you could do the stevia syrup with this one. You could do agave or honey. We did maple. And
anything that's sticky.
Anything that's sticky. Yeah, that's pretty much right. Yeah.
Anything that's sticky. I like the way that is a great description. I love it.
So what kind of tools do we need, Charlie?
Have you ever watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh, we're going to talk about Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
Well, they do make food on that.
What?
On Willy Wonka. But here, you're going to tell them what tools we have so they know what they need?
We need two spoons and two spatulas.
Okay, what's this over here?
Food processor.
Okay. So this is super simple. We're basically going to put all the ingredients in together except for the sunflower seeds that we toasted. And then we're going to pulse it all until it comes together. It'll happen really quick, so it might get loud for
different shapes.
It might get loud for 1 second, and then you guys can, if you want, you can mute it for a minute here. And then we're basically going to take these and form them into balls. So can you hand me the oats? You want to dump in the oats? Here. All right.
Oh.
That's all right. We only lost a few.
That's funny.
Okay.
Mommy.
All right. Now we need the seeds, the other seeds, the hemp seeds. You got it?
Okay, and how much of the hemp seeds? And I think
sorry. So it's two and a quarter cups of the oats.
No.
It's half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of the hemp seeds.
Half a cup plus, and I'm using flaxseed instead, right?
Yeah. So you can do half a cup. Just wait. She's going to keep up with us. So half a cup plus 2 tablespoons
Of what?
of the hemp seeds. And then
What is
we don't need ours right now because we already measured it.
Okay.
And then we're going to do 3 tablespoons of the chia seeds. So let's dump these in. We've got to be careful. You can dump it in. You're right.
We put in
Yeah. And then we've got 1 teaspoon of cinnamon along with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
We'll tap that.
No, you needed a teaspoon, so we've got to get.
Yeah, and then I'm going to help you with this one so it doesn't get all over the place. Just wait.
Okay, here.
So then the last ingredient, or not the last, but the first wet ingredient we have is 1 cup of almond butter. And you can sub any butter you want. If you have a nut allergy, you can do sunflower seed butter. You can do cashew butter. You can even make your own. It's pretty simple, actually, to make your own almond butter. if you just toast the almonds like we did earlier for the granola, and then while they're hot, you put them in the food processor and let them grind, then they'll eventually just kind of liquefy and turn.
Really? That's it? Huh.
Sorry?
That's it.
So yeah, any nut butter you want to make, you can make your own, really.
Right?
And then we're doing 3/4 of a cup of maple syrup, but again, you can use whatever syrup or, as Charlie puts it, any kind of sticky stuff you want. So.
The move, I will.
Yeah.
You need a spatula.
We will. Yeah. So now we're gonna put the top on.
Cover our ears.
We're gonna cover our ears.
Okay.
Let's get this top on properly. Are you ready? And we're just gonna pulse it at first.
All right, I'm gonna.
All right.
Is it all done?
It's not quite all done, so we pulse it a little bit, and then we're gonna scrape it down just so that all the ingredients mix in a little better.
Smash it, yeah.
What are you gonna? You're not gonna smash them. Hold on, we don't need to squish it quite yet.
The shrimp kind
So
of almondy buttery.
it's yeah, it smells almondy buttery. That's good. That's okay. It's okay if it falls.
We don't need it in.
We will need that in. Yeah, you want to put that back in?
Why?
Just so nothing flies at the top. All right, so we're going to grind it again for a second.
So what we've got is a nice goopy, sticky something that I think Charlie would be very proud of. It is very sticky.
Don't touch it.
Oh, you know what? I didn't put the sunflower seeds in. Bill, was I supposed to put the sunflower seeds in? Up or no?
No, but it's okay. It's fine.
I didn't.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. Yeah, we're going to roll the balls in the sunflower seeds at the end.
Great, great.
Perfect. But even if you did do it, it would have been fine. It just would have added some texture. Okay, now we got to do this. So you just want to pulse it, leaving it kind of like, you know, you can see the oats in here still. Pull this up to the camera if you can see that. It doesn't look totally blended. We're not really looking for it to be totally blended.
So, I'm getting too proud.
This is like
Are
so.
you proud of me, Charlie? Thank you. Thank you.
Guys,
Can't wait.
we might need to skip that.
We don't quite need them yet. I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. And we're going to get this out of the food processor. So this is probably the hardest part, is just getting it out of the food processor because it's so sticky.
And so what are we putting this into? What do you
Just
got?
put it into any container that you can kind of scoop it out of. You can even scoop it right out of the food processor if you want.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to work around the blade sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now we can move it.
We're going to roll it, yeah, right after this.
It's so sticky.
It's very sticky, isn't it?
Wow. Charlie, this is like as sticky as it could be.
You can have a little taste. Give me 1 second, I'll get you a little taste. Here, take that. No, not off the spatula.
That's the blade.
There you go. Not off my hand either. Here you go.
Ooh, this is sticky.
So, and then just press it into your container so it kind of works out some of the air bubbles. How's it taste, Charlie?
I am not feeling like the most delicate of little chefs right now.
Oh, this is not a delicate project, so that's okay.
Okay, good.
Energy bites, Dad.
Because they have a lot of protein, Charlie. And
And energy.
they'll give you a little energy, yeah?
Anna, pull that out, Dad.
Okay.
Next.
So here's what we're gonna do next. So once you're ready, we're gonna scoop. If you have an ice cream scoop like this, it's great. If not, you can literally just take spoonfuls and kind of roll it between your hands to create the balls. We're gonna leave the parts over here.
No, I just want to pull it out.
Well, it's gonna bang and make some noise, so we wanna keep it over here, okay? Let's put it over here. So we're gonna scoop. Are you gonna help me roll? So, you wanna help me scoop some?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna take the scoop here. You ready?
Yeah.
Pull it. And then
Watch him.
you can actually lay them out on the cutting board. How about that?
Rex, go bring
We're gonna do this. Ready? Put it down here.
Can I roll mine?
Yeah, you can roll them. Yeah. Go ahead, roll it into a ball. and then you can throw it into the nuts.
That's why you can make these in any shapes at all.
You can make them whatever you want. You can press them into squares and cut them.
Okay. So
Mine's kind of crumbling apart. I don't know. Do I need to add more wet ingredient to
Yeah,
it?
you might need a little bit more wet. You might need just a touch more wet. So you could add a little more syrup or a little more almond butter.
All about the maple syrup.
I'm finding that like maybe a little hand action. Is that okay? Well, I'm struggling with my ice cream scooper, so I just sort of like rolled it like a snowball.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could just pop them out and then just roll them in your hands, and then you throw them in your sunflower seeds and kind of roll them around in your sunflower seeds.
Oh,
Look at this one I made.
Oh, Charlie made one. What'd you make? And then,
Look at mine I made.
so the sunflower seeds will just add some crunch. You want to eat some? Yeah, you can eat yours.
Okay, this is gigantic, but I'm loving it.
Honey, look mine.
And then you can store these in the fridge for up to a week or so.
Oh
How is it, Charlie?
Good.
It's good? Yeah? Would you make them again?
no. Out sunflower seeds.
Oh, you don't want sunflower seeds on it? You don't have to have
Talk
sunflower.
about the advantage, like this is good because it's a healthy afternoon pick-me-up. Like,
Yeah, it's just, yeah, you can keep these in the fridge and just like kind of pull one out and eat it. And it's kind of a little better than maybe eating some cookies or something like that. You want to roll it? There you go. Roll it in there.
Oh, this one's for me.
So where did you find this recipe, Bill? Is this something that you made up, or?
I found a version of this online and then sort of tweaked it for myself. There's a lot if you just look up kind of actually if you just look up like oatmeal like energy balls or oatmeal protein balls or something like that.
Great.
It's yeah.
It's kind of chewy.
It's kind of chewy to eat it by itself.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You feel like a little. That's nice.
Yeah, I made it.
I was about to make a donut.
And
Yeah.
you can roll
Now,
it in
if
a
you
bowl.
freeze these, would they kind
You know,
of?
I think they freeze okay.
I'm trying to.
I've never frozen them, but I think they would totally freeze. For up to a month. I wouldn't go too much longer than that because they might start to dry out
Yeah, yeah.
and get more crumbly. But how are you doing, Catherine? Were you able to get it more sticky?
I'm trying to unmute because my hands are.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is definitely. I'm like, I have no idea what time it is. There's no way I'm touching my computer right now.
Look, I made a donut.
Oh yeah, let's make a donut.
Can I make for you?
Sure, I'll have that one. I'll eat that one in a little bit, okay? Because I got a chop still.
I'm washing my hands. Actually, I'm gonna do all the balls.
Yeah, you should wash your hands at the end. You should wash your hands at the end.
Yeah.
This is extremely exciting. Extremely exciting, I would say.
So in this, this will probably make around 20, 24 balls, depending, and you can scoop them smaller if you want, less in one go, or if you want, bigger ones, or you can shape them in little squares or even discs, or.
We started off a bit. I'm cutting mine in half now. I think Sunflower's got a little obscenely
This
large.
donut is mine.
My son has made a few
The cookies
donut-shaped
are mine.
ones.
Oh, nice,
This,
nice.
like, from right here on is mine. Okay.
What's that?
The
Just so
cookies
everyone
are
knows
mine.
it.
Yeah,
This ball is mine.
The don't.
Charlie's ready to eat them. He's probably gonna try to eat too many of these.
They're mine.
Dinner soon, don't we?
Are mine.
There you go.
I made healthy cookies.
You gonna eat another one? All right, Charlie's just.
Are they good? What do you think?
Use the
They're good.
Imagine we use these in matzo ball soup.
I don't think it would fare well in matzo ball soup.
This is
more like a ball.
Uh huh. Did he say we're gonna use them in matzo ball soup?
Yeah, we're gonna use them in matzo ball soup. We're coming up on Passover here, so we're thinking.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It'll be great with chicken. Yeah. Yeah? You line them all up? Well, here. If you're eating one, you just touch the one you're eating, okay? because we don't want to be touching too much stuff. Here we go.
So Bill, why don't you give everybody a little bit of history about how it is that you came after an amazing 15-year career to bless us with your presence for the last 3 years?
So it's kind of a long story, but I'll give you the quick version. I was doing birthday cakes for this party, and I ended up out in amongst the guests for a little while when the cake was being served. Mm-hmm. And Mark was actually standing next to me, and I didn't know Mark at the time. And he basically ate the cake and kind of started raving about the cake, asking who made the cake. And I didn't know if it was my place to talk to people at the party yet or not, so I didn't really say much. And then he kept going on about it, so I asked him about it. Or I said, oh, I actually made the cake. And then, Mark started, basically, he had us connect, and he started using me for kind of parties and special events and things like that. And then I went off and tried to open my own restaurant, and I was in the process of that down in Los Angeles. I had actually moved down to Los Angeles for a year. And then and I got an email from Mark that kind of was cryptic and said, hey, we're doing this thing. We're building these Ohana floors. Just don't make noise right now. I'm trying to talk. We're building these Ohana floors for the employees, and they'll get drinks, and they can have snacks and pastries like scones. And it was sort of like this really vague email about what it would be. And I asked him for a job description, and he told me he just wrote it. And so I flew up and checked out what he was talking about, and it seemed really interesting, so I took the job. And then we built this program from scratch that we're now doing in 4 locations and more to come. But so we kind of just built it around hospitality and tried to build this program around how do we welcome people, whether they're our employees or our customers or the community. And it's gone, I think, for me, from my side, it's gone really well. And I've really enjoyed it. We've built something special, I think.
Tell me about what that felt like to go from the restaurant scene to like a private, inside.
Yeah, so I was a little nervous about going, because coming up as a chef, I worked in fine dining, and I never thought I would work in a corporate environment. I was like, no, I didn't think I'd work in a corporate kitchen ever. It was sort of like, I was always very much a restaurant chef. And I think because there's just difference, corporate chefs, like if you look at other companies, they're doing, huge cafeterias and things like that.
Right.
And I just didn't want to be like a cafeteria chef. So I never ever pictured myself getting into the corporate world. But when it was presented to me, it was these kind of beautiful, small boutique kitchens, and we were going to be allowed to kind of execute it in the same way we do in restaurants. So we still purchase the same great products, and we serve kind of on an intimate level where it's small gatherings usually. And so that's enough. So the appeal was, it was kind of like, it was like the best of both worlds. So, but going through, it was a transition, and then starting to realize kind of what resources the corporate world brings you, whether it's, ES supporting you in the way that ES supports us. You just don't have that kind of thing in the restaurant world. You're like, vacation is very kind of few and far between almost. You kind of don't take days off. It's sort of like pushed on you, this idea that, more work is basically, if you're not working hard all the time, then you must not be a great chef. Mm. So you're sort of pushed that idea, and work-life balance is almost a non-existent thing. Yeah? What little thing? This one?
No.
Which one? This one?
No.
Which scoop would you like? This one. Oh, okay. There you go. So yeah, so it was definitely a transition, coming in, and we have like sort of that. We have that with our employees, where we kind of realize there's this transition where they go from not feeling like they can ask for things a lot of the times, like extra days off, or like take personal time, to where it's encouraged, and that in the restaurant world is not encouraged. So you're kind of like, you always have to retrain our teams to go, to look out for themselves in a way. And it's pretty amazing to see it as they get it. And then, within a few months or so, then suddenly they're totally in a new world and loving it.
So we're all kind of in this new world where we're inside, and, going to the store is like a super for me at least, it's
Be
kind
careful.
and
Yeah.
Can you
That's
sit
it.
down on a diamond?
one of the things I really liked about this recipe is that there were some substitutions that you could make, and it could still kind of be fun, even though
You
my
can make different kind of steaks.
but my question for you, Bill, is like for some people who are now kind of finding themselves in a first time cooking situation, like they're normally doing takeout, they're living in different environments, and now all of a sudden here they are having to try to fend for themselves.
I would just like kind of not be hard on yourself if it doesn't turn out right every time or the first time. I think you try and you learn, and then the more you kind of do things over and over again, the better you're going to get. 1 second. Okay. And the more you're going to get, like, you're going to get this intuition about cooking and start to learn a little more about how you can cook. But I would say, be flexible, get what you can and maybe look up a recipe for it that's, keep it simple. Don't try to kind of tackle techniques that are so far out of your realm, but like, the more you cook, the more you will get to that point to be able to take on those kind of more complicated techniques that require a little more finesse or better knife skills. But I think honestly, just like try simple, basic cooking, eat fresh food. What shape would you like?
What are some sites or something like? What are some resources that you would recommend to people who are kind of new into the cooking game that they should check out to, kind of start building up those skills and their confidence?
Yeah, I think
eating.
There's. We talked earlier today. There's a Serious Eats is a great one. Give me 1 second, Charlie. Yes, I can make a triangle. There's like Serious Eats is a great one because the recipes are always very tested. I would say even one thing you can do too is like get a CSA box from a farmer, and it's going to give you a bunch of produce that maybe you don't know how to cook at all, and you've got to look it up and figure it out. And suddenly, it's sort of forcing you to learn.
That's a really good idea. I like the idea of the CSA box because that is the thing that, like, I've got pasta stacked in the cabinets to, get me through a nuclear reaction, but the produce that, that is what.
Yeah. We actually have a resource on that we've been posting. If you look at least for San Francisco, New York, and London, our teams have been sort of putting up ways to support a lot of our vendors and farmers that we use.
Oh, fantastic.
One of the ways is kind of supporting the CSAs that the farms are doing, because a lot of them are still doing CSAs and a lot of them are still trying to sell the produce, and they need it more than ever because the restaurants aren't able to buy it right now. So they're offering way more expanded CSA services and getting more boxes to people. They'll generally deliver to a hub in here. 1 second.
Can you make that one oval?
Yeah, I can make that one an oval. They'll generally, they've got usually a hub that you would go to, like in San Francisco, the Ferry Building Farmers Market.
Uh-huh.
If you can get down there, then they'll drop off there, but they may drop off closer to you too if you live like in San Francisco in the East Bay. But I think a lot of the farms are doing this because they just need to sell more produce. There's a lot of produce now that's not being used.
Yeah.
Because the farmers, all of their kind of avenues for selling it have kind of dried up. So the produce is there, it's just finding it, right? So like it's plugging into how you can get it. There's definitely not a shortage of it. It's just a matter of, the grocery store is hard because I think a lot of people are buying more than they need and stocking their fridges, but there are ways to get it. And check your smaller local like the little more specialty grocery stores. A lot of them are still fully stocked because everyone's going to the big grocery stores. A lot of them are getting these great produce and great products every day, and they're selling it, but it's
A big oval.
I found the farm box really useful because it will send you produce that sometimes you might not otherwise choose for yourself. And so that you get to try something new. I pulled a pastel out of a box one time. I was like, what is this? But it turns out I like it, and it shows you recipes.
Some of them will supply recipes too. There's just so much, I don't know, there's so much great product out there, and a lot of it goes unseen aside from restaurants. But suddenly, like with a lot of these farms, you're going to get this higher level of restaurant-grade produce that, you can't really find even in the grocery store. Like if I go to Whole Foods, I can get good product. I can't always get great products. But these CSA boxes are usually going to be great products.
That's amazing.
Because they'll be picked in the field the day before, you know, or maybe 2 days ago. But I think the kids are done.
I know. They kind of left me. Here I am. I guess I'm going to eat all of the ones they made.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much. Oh, here's one.
Except
Okay.
for one.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.